What up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to Pics. It didn't happen. I am Fats King. I am always joined by my brother, the Yeti. You want to say what's up, homie? I know you're barely there.
I woke up all for you guys because I had to, because he said so. So here we are. Let's do this. I love you guys.
We love you too, Yeti. Your room is not blue. You're gonna break some hearts with that one.
That's they're just gonna have to get over that and just get used to the new aesthetics. White.
Just white everything. All right. Today we have a return guest, and I'm fucking so happy to have him back on the show. We have the man himself, underground hustling kingpin, Will Glass. You want to say what's up, bro?
What's up, bro? How you guys doing?
We're doing fucking great, man. Fucking the numbers are climbing. We're gaining more subscribers. We are gaining some traction. People are recognizing me at shows. Not that means anything, but it's kind of fucking weird.
Well, it does mean something. So it just validates that what you're doing is valuable.
I like to have been less trolly lately. So
yeah, we also stopped targeting specific things.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's a whole other kettle of fish. That doesn't matter. Man, so the last time we talked to you, we had plans to talk big shit about lasers and poisons, and then we hit a major brick wall hiatus-wise. We had to take a break, and I do apologize that we never got to have that episode. I want to come back and talk about that album at some point. But today, we're here to talk about a future project. I don't know how much you can or can't talk about, but this is the new one you're doing, Pro Antagonist. Did I say that right?
That's it, brother. Yeah, we can talk pretty much we can talk all about it, man. We can talk about both albums and whatever you want, man. It's all on the table.
Oh, that's fucking dope. I fucking okay. So. All right, we're gonna do some lasers and poisons for a second then. I really enjoyed the track Lizard Tongues. The weaving of the almost Egyptian music in the background while you were with the guitars and everything. That is, some people consider that deep tinfoil hat theory, but the subject itself always does appeal to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Did you see the video?
I don't know if I've seen the video or not.
Oh, man.
I'm definitely going to have to go back and check that out. I didn't know there was a video.
Bro, that's like my best video. But yeah, I mean, that particular song, my son, I'm like, what's the next song? He's like, Lizard Tongues. So I was like, how do I make this adult, right? Yeah. And it was like, it basically like, speaking in a tongue as a language and lizard tongues, and boom, it wrote itself. So yeah, I don't know what your specific question is, like, am I like a full-blown reptilian believer or not? I mean, I don't at this point, what is and isn't possible is very, very crazy at this point from the shit we've already seen. And at this point, dude, I mean, I don't really give a shit. Like, what's, like, I'm just focused on, like, all I can focus on is what I'm doing. So, I'm open to any fucking, like, I'm not saying it isn't real or it is real. I'm just saying the idea of it is real, and I was given the title of the song, and when you see the video, oh man, I wish you could just watch it right now. But yeah, so I think it's a great song. Like that. I mean, this is like 2 years ago, but yeah, when I finished that one, I fucking like did this. So yeah.
You said, you were talking about, you're not sure, if it's real, but when you said, I'm not sure how to word what I'm trying to say here, but basically I think it's really interesting. You mentioned that whether it is real or not, well, if people believe it, then
the fact that we're talking about it
makes it real.
The idea is real,
right? Yeah, because we're talking about it, we're thinking about it. That idea is real because there's people that talk about it a lot.
Yeah. Well, to the extent that it becomes obscene. But it's funny, though, you said something, because you said you're just trying to do what you're trying to do every day. Like, I don't remember the exact wording you used, but it's like I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and it's like, well, what if the world is ending? What are you going to do? I'm going to get up, I'm going to put gas in my car, and I'm going to drive to my job. That's what I'm going to do. Until there's literally fire falling from the sky, there's nothing I can do, because I'm just a regular fucking human. So that's why, as much as I do love conspiracy theories and that conversation, at some point we all have to step back and just be like, well, whether it's real or not, what are you going to do tomorrow? Same thing you did the day before.
And that's why I structured my life in a way that when I wake up, pretty much everything I do is something I enjoy doing. So talking to you guys, walking my dog, going swimming, recording music, hanging out with my kids, like that's why I structure my life in that way. So if I do die tomorrow, like I don't have many regrets. So yeah, I mean,
that's a great way to live. I hope that anyone listening can eventually find their way to that kind of enjoyment in life. Because that just sounds like literally having hit all of the major goals and then just living on side quests.
I have one last bucket list item, and I think I can pull that off in the next 3 to 5 years. So, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't really desire much anymore. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Oh, and this will probably be the last thing I want to bring up about Lasers and Poisons, because this was probably one of my favorite tracks on the album, built for this. I really took that mindset, and I kind of applied that in the last 2 years to my everyday life, and I know what I'm good at, and I know what I can do to become better. You're never done growing in what you're doing, but knowing that you found what you're good at is a great fucking feeling. And that song really, really sharpened my perspective on the things I'm doing as far as my passion projects.
Hey, dude. I mean, that was obviously the intention of that song. It was a motivational, like in my head, it's like the ultimate workout song. Like, built for this, and so do that next set, live like it's your last breath. So I got this fan, he's like a homie, Josh Philly, and I always think of him when I'm writing some of these songs, because he's like this big bodybuilder guy, and he like has all my posters up in his gym and shit, and I'm just like, oh, this one's for him. So yeah, I mean, that was the first song I did for that album.
Oh shit, that's
I want to take this a little sideways here. We're talking. You mentioned bodybuilders and how you feel like that song was really kind of that motivational, type of song. If you were able to get that song on an 80s action movie back in the day, which one of those actors would you like to be the lead for that? We're talking, Schwarzenegger,
Stallone, Willis, Van Damme. Was that the big four?
Yeah. I think that's them.
I think it's I don't think it's Stallone. Stallone's it's just not Guido enough.
I see that as John McClane. That sounds like Die Hard written all over it.
I would just go fast forward to Statham, maybe.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, just because it's so fast. It's like such a high speed. It's not a very fast tempo song, but it's sleek. Yeah, it's sleek. It's not the 80s,
bulky, top heavy for the song.
Yeah, it's fuel efficient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fucking genius. I love that.
Plus, Mike Patton did Speed 2, right? Yeah, so I want to be Speed 1 so I could be in the same league as my idol.
I mean, that's always living goals, right? Trying to be in the same breath as your idols. But that's that. If you haven't heard Lasers and Poisons, go fucking check it out. It is a very well made record, and it's different. It's different blends of different kinds of music throughout the entire thing. It's never one thing, and you're gonna hit with tracks you never saw coming, with a couple collabs you weren't expecting either. But so now we're gonna talk about Pro Antagonist, and the first thing I want to talk about is how did you come up with that name? What is what you mean when you say Pro Antagonist? Because I know what a protagonist is, and I know what an antagonist is.
Yeah, I think I see it as two meanings. Like I'm for antagonists. Like I'm pro-abortion, I'm pro-life, I'm pro this, I'm pro that. So I am pro-antagonist. Like, and then I also see it as like a professional bad guy. Also like a good bad guy. Like
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the anti-hero. It's Marv from Sin City. It's Billy Butcher on The Boys. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the guy who does the dark for the good.
It's like I picked Denzel from Man on Fire as my avatar.
Yes.
Because he was just like, that performance was just like, you felt it in every fucking bone of your body. That like, he was just this underdog, this like retired whatever military dude who's had this alcohol problem, but like, dude went to no end to save that fucking girl. So yeah, I mean, it's just a play on words, but it's basically like, you know, the guy go like, you know, like the song basically says it all, really.
Yeah, I kind of got that from listening to the track, but I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on it. The whole album, it does sound like it's the tale of this character who you're describing in this song. What was the creation process like going into this? Did you do anything different? Did you change anything up, or just pretty much bring the same formula that works?
So this was just like a continuation of Lasers and Poison. I never stopped recording.
Oh shit!
I just cut Lasers and Poison off. 2 of these songs were on Lasers and Poison. But I just, you know, I'm like, I got like 16 or whatever songs, so I just cut it off. And then we started experimenting with the longer song and the more intricate song structure with guitar, with like multiple guitar solos and
that's what I meant when I texted you and I said it was big. Like there was so much for the listener to digest in, and that's why I honestly didn't want to come into this without having at least 3 to 4 full playthroughs. And I got my 3 because I like I said, my free time kind of sucked dick, but I made it because, you know, that's what I do. But yeah, it definitely is something you're not going to get on the first full playthrough. It's just it's not meant to.
It's very, and it's meant to be listened to in its entirety, and it's very hard to digest in one. Like, there's just so much in there, from each song to each part to each, that it's just, you know, I make music that my next album is actually called Famous When I'm Dead. It's just when I'm finally gone, and people can just stop having their opinions on like me as a person, when they like look back at the body of work and take time to really like process it all, they'll be like, fuck man, that dude was like way, you know, ahead of his time and way like genius. And so for now, it's just, it is a lot to digest, man. Like even 3 or 4 times, it's just, you know, there's so much in that 10 songs that I meant to make it like an Injustice for All type of record.
Okay. I guess I can see that.
So
Like,
you said you cut, you cut lasers and poison. How do you sort of know when that's the last track I'm going to put on here? Like, we're a lot less
yeah.
limited on the number of tracks that we can do because we don't have to worry about physical media now. What sort of determines that? Is there just something that clicked that said, "Hey, this is it," or was it, just I have to cut this off because it's just going to keep growing if I don't?
Yeah, I mean, part of it was, George saying, like, you can do whatever you want, but like 12 to 14 tracks is fine. So at that point, we had Goblin Face and La Jolla. So I cut those off. And then from there, the first song was Enemy of the Status that I wrote knowing this is for a new record.
Okay.
And I wrote that. I wrote the guitar part and the vocal, and then I sent it off to my producer, and then he finished. He did the verse and the breakdown. So from there, I was like, okay, this is where we're going with this record. The long outros and the more developed meat of the song, with no, like, Lasers and Poison is very radio friendly. Like, every song is like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. There's no like real big departures from the song structure, and then this has giant departures from the song structure. So and with that, we did a bit different mix. It's much more drum heavy, and he actually got a new guitar tone for it as well. So yeah, I mean,
was the point of the departure to be because it was so different from Lasers and Poisons? Is that what you were shooting for? Since you made one project one way, you might as well. Because I mean, before you'd even talked about actually finishing Lasers and Poisons, we had talked about you didn't even know if you were ever going to do another solo record again. And here you are planning 2, 3, maybe even 4. And that's really fucking cool. I want to say that first and foremost, but like, what is the mindset where you're like, okay, I made this one this way, I'll make this one completely different? Is it different for the sake of being different? There's the words I'm looking for.
I think there's a lot of that. But when I heard that first song, like, it has this, the first Enemy of the Status has this really like this, the outro is just so like, it's just such a good outro. I don't know if you even like know what it is, but like,
I don't know what it's from, but I definitely know I definitely listen to it. I know what you're talking about.
It just gave me this feeling, and I'm like, we got to make outros for every, like, where the outro itself is a separate piece of music,
and leads into the next track.
Right. So we just ran with that, man. I mean, the outro, I had Larry, my producer, write most of the outro so he could have his little creativity. Sometimes when I have Larry write the song himself, it's not, those usually end up being the songs that I hate and then I like at the end, like after I like, but most of these I wrote myself, and I'm like, you do the outro. So he knows exactly what the meat of the song is, and then the outro is just, he gets a whole fresh creative canvas for just the outro instead of the whole song. So I think it was kind of like a DJ battle, like, here's my part, here's your part, and put it together, and we're competing now to have the best piece of music within each song. That's cool.
I've never heard of anybody saying they actually felt like they were competing with their producer. It's usually a collaborative effort, but
it's like a friendly competition.
Yeah,
you think that shit was dope? Listen to this.
Exactly. That sounds like it actually made the writing process probably just way much, just a bit more fun than it already was, because it's like, like you just said, I got something for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's again, that's a very different process than I've ever heard. That's really fucking cool. One of the tracks that stood out to me that I'm a fan of is Exit Strategy. I really enjoyed that track. Can you talk a little bit about that? Just the recording process. Anything you would want the fans to know before they hear it?
Yeah, that's a very interesting pick. He wrote that song. He wrote the whole song, not the lyrics, of course, but the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I do like that. I don't like the mix for me isn't like, it's like 85%. I just couldn't get it to sound exactly how I wanted it to sound. So basically that song, it's like a punk rock verse that goes into like a post-hardcore pre-chorus, and then I don't even know what the chorus is. It's just this real like up-tempo. It's almost like Korn sped up, and then it has this like gigantic like Metallica Black Album outro. The song is basically it's just like like the whole album is very suicidal.
Yeah. For fuck's sake, one of the songs is what's the name? I'm stoned to forget. I'm forgetting.
Slowly killing myself.
There it is. It is. Yeah, that's that's obvious. One of the thought processes on the album, if that's one of the tracks. I also. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Yeah. So Exit Strategy is just basically like, the chorus is like, numb is the feeling and the gun is appealing when the shit hits the ceiling. It's an exit strategy. It's just like, you know, there's always a way out if you need it. And so, yeah, I mean, that era was a very depressing era for me. So that was my therapy. This album was definitely my therapy for that era of time, because it went from political to like personal suicidal like real quick.
So, how fucked up is it though that the political spectrum has become so hot and just not fun to be involved in? I mean, if it ever was, it leads people to be feeling this suicidal and this depressed. Like I know I don't want to go too far into this whole into this. I'm only going to talk about it for a second. The whole Roe v. Wade thing. I've heard women talk about, well, if I'm forced to have to carry a stillborn child, I'm just going to fucking kill myself. And it's like, do they not care? Does nobody care? And then those feelings lead you to, like you just said, this dark and deep fucking depression. And it's really fucking scary how something that's supposed to be our controlling force is, especially a controlling force for good, is literally draining and killing almost all of us, mentally, physically, and spiritually. That was a rant I wasn't expecting. Sorry.
No, I feel you, bro. We're all part of this big machine, and none of us can really, even if you have a ton of money, you can't escape it really, because if you have a ton of money, you're almost, well, it's like you're working even harder to maintain your status quo. Because if you're a multimillionaire, you have to work twice as hard just to stay a multimillionaire. People think, oh, you're a multimillionaire, you're good to go. It's like, well, no, because if I slip once, I could lose everything.
Yeah.
Like, because like, oh, well, so-and-so is worth $5 million, he's fine. Well, okay, that to maintain that $5 million, you have lawyers, accountants, management, you have investment, you have your investment guy, you have like a staff of people you're paying, and then you have to pay all your mortgages and all your like if you have a business, you have to pay your payroll and your taxes and your overhead. And so like, whereas the average I tell people, if they're trying to like level up to where I'm at, it's like, dude, you may not want to. You may just want to live well below your means and get a like shitty job and just because like to level up, it's just not even worth like it's just so like we're all in this machine and the government's controlling the money and the like the economics of it all and so like you can't unless you're even like Kanye West, he's more depressed than anyone. He's worth billions, but he can't even like see his own kid. And like, so there's like, you got to find like where you want to exist in that like, you know, social economic spectrum. And then you have to like,
it just seems like it's never enough. It seems like when you get to a point, you're constantly feeding the beast, no matter what you do. And then you're living in as a lower class person. When I say this, I don't mean to sound rude, but you get what they call rich people problems or first world problems. Now, since I don't understand those problems, those probably are gigantic fucking issues. But it's something I myself could never understand. And it's why there's such this class divide, because it's the way you have to live versus the way I have to live, and it's really interesting how it works. It's like you can't really get like, for me, just like you kind of have to like filter who you allow in your home. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't fucking know, like, well, shit hits the fan, like, and this motherfucker knows where I live and knows where my fucking equipment's at, and he, you know, so, yeah, but, yeah, I don't even know, but, so basically, like, the whole system's, like, existence is almost there to do that, like, to cause it's like the medical industry causing the problems to offer the medicine. It's like,
yeah, there's more money in the symptoms than there is in the cure. That's
right.
That's why the disease continues, because it's just easier to keep medicating than it is to finish the job. And like you were just saying, it all comes full circle back to our mental health. And it's a common knowledge. None of us are doing fucking great up in the head right now. If you are not depressed, I'm happy for you. But living in 2022, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who isn't genuinely clinically depressed about something.
Yeah, no, 100%. I found like for me personally, like getting it out on a track, and then I kind of like leave it behind, because like now I'm writing like more upbeat, like.
So you purged it, right? That's what this record was for. Was to purge. Like that's kind of crazy, since you came full circle, because you talked about it. Lasers and Poisons was way more political. This was more of a depressing thought process, and now you're telling me you're writing happier or more upbeat music, whether it is or isn't. But that's cool though. As artists, you guys, you're so fucking lucky that you. Let me rephrase that, because that sounds shitty to say. It's cool that you guys get to let that out in that form, because a lot of us don't have that medium to release it, short of walking out onto the street and just screaming at the top of your lungs and shaking your fists. Because the way you sing, that's a primal sound. That's a primal fucking scream to the universe. And you talking about shit that upsets you in that fashion, that's got to be so goddamn therapeutic.
It's very cathartic, man. Like the yelling and just like if you think about whatever like chemical I'm releasing when I'm yelling that loud, and then you know, take after take after take after take. Yeah. Like, you know, that song's only 5 minutes, but I probably yelled for like an hour to get the good takes. So like whatever I'm releasing, by the time I'm done, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I totally get everything you're
like, I'm
saying.
slowly killing myself. That last scream, I literally almost blacked out, because like my head was like, I screamed so loud, I like blew out my eardrums, and my head was like pulsating, and I'm like, I can't even like be like, I can't even be depressed or angry in this moment, because I'm like not even.
You're too busy trying to exist.
Yeah, I was like. I was talking to this chick, like we're talking and stuff, and she's like, you know, like, she's like, so what else do you do besides blah, blah, blah? And I didn't answer. And then she like found out like, oh, like I do music and stuff. And she's like, I'm a little scared now. I'm like, well, let me explain. Like, like in real life, I'm not like at all, because I get that shit out. Like, it's like, most people don't get that shit out. And that's where the problem is.
Yep.
Because if you go out there and be like, like people think you're crazy, but if you do it in your own house and you make a record out of it, then people think you're just a metal recording artist. So yeah, I did get a lot of. It was almost like when I was writing these songs, I didn't feel that way, but after I wrote them and listened to them so many times to like perfect them, then I got in that depression. And then I started, I forgot how it happened, but I was just playing my guitar, like some old punk songs, and I wrote a punk song, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna, because I was in a punk band in like the 90s, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make punk music, because that's honestly like where that's what I'm best at, because I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So with the punk, it's like more sarcastic. I do talk about killing myself also, but
it's for the spark.
It's just lighter, and it's you know, and then you know, anyway, well, yeah, we can talk about this album now though, because that's what we're talking about. But yeah, so it was a huge therapeutic. I feel so much better now. Like, I'm in such a better place now. So thanks probably to getting all that out.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is something, you're an actual singer, and I don't get a chance to talk to too many actual singers. And shout out to BAM, shout out to fucking Sky Swamp. But what do you do to take care of your voice, your instrument? Because that's a lot. You just said it. You put a lot of strain and a lot of pressure on your voice. What do you do as an artist to take care of it?
Dude, I don't do anything, man. Like, I mean, I stopped because of all that album, how heavy it is. That's probably why I started doing the punk shit, because I'd probably yell on the new punk record like a handful of times. So that's one thing I'm doing, is I'm not yelling anymore. But no, I do the worst shit, dude. I wake up 5 a.m. and then I go right at it. I don't do warm-ups. I don't do anything. But what I see, like, people I used to work with now, and their voices are fucked because of smoking and drinking and cocaine. And so, like, that's one thing I do. I don't do smoke, drink, or do drugs. So that I have a much stronger voice than I did when I was in my early 20s with these other guys, and we were all smoking weed constantly. So, I mean, cigarettes will just fuck your voice up. So, yeah, I just take care of myself and hydrate. I hydrate, and I think that, you know, I should be doing vocal warm-ups and all that, but I think the hydration thing, and then I teach yoga like 3 hours a day, so I'm always like using my voice and learning how to, like, when a specific part of my voice isn't, then I go into this voice, you know, so I know how to tweak it to where it's like rotating your tires, right? Like, if you rotate them, your tires are going to last like 20, 30% longer. So I rotate sometimes I'll do falsetto, like when I'm teaching, just to take strain out of my lower voice. So yeah, I think just like, because people in their mid 40s they don't have this voice anymore, really. So I think just taking care of myself is like the best way to do it. And so lots of hydration, lots of breathing, and exercise.
Well, there you go, kids. The way of Axl Rose in the 80s party rocker is not the one you want if you want to actually have a voice and a career when you get older. Take care of yourself and drink water.
So with that being the new record, I was want to ask also, how's UGH coming? What's been going on with them? Anything new you want to talk about? Anything big?
Yeah, dude, we just dropped the Jamie Madrox UGH 75, and what's that? 75, yeah.
Yeah, that's a hell of a fucking number, man.
I was starting 76, like the folder in my computer. I was like, it's like, yo, Jesse, I just started a fucking UGH 76 folder on my goddamn computer. It's like, man, like, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I feel like, where's my fucking props, dude? 75 mixtapes.
That is like that. The only word to use to describe that is prolific.
Pro antagonist, yeah. So, yeah, we did the Jamie Madrox one. It's out on YouTube and CD, and then the vinyls are going to be in next week. And then right now we're working on UGH 76, which will be the bonus disc to my album Pro Antagonist. And I'm gonna host. Yeah, I'm gonna host that one myself. We already got like 10 songs done for it, which is like I'm just like super humble, super grateful that you know, for a mixtape I'm hosting for a bonus disc on my album. I already got 10 songs like submitted because, you know, like people, they want to support what I do, and they want my albums to come out, and they want to, you know, people are pre-ordering it already, buying the shirt, buying the merch, the media bundle. So if you want to get on UGH 76, the bonus disc to Pro Antagonist, we did the bonus disc to this last Lasers and Poison, and that thing was phenomenal. So this one's just as good, man. We got a lot of dope tracks on there already, and so that's about halfway full. And so I'm trying to get that. I think September, maybe October is when the whole thing will be out. I dropped one single for Pro Antagonist, the title track already. So yeah, I got videos for La Jolla, crazy video, probably my biggest budget video ever. And then I have a video for Ricochet. I have
another standout track.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because that is a cover song.
I did not know that. Who is it a cover by?
Faith No More.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That shows my age because I'm not as old as some. I'm gonna go back and find that because I love covers, and I love hearing the original and the cover. That's fucking great.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe you said that because that's my most self-conscious song right there, because I'm covering Mike Patton.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't really understand how good of a singer he was. Like, I always knew, like, I basically have Mike Patton, like, pillowcases and sheets. Like I don't, but like, if he
you would, if you could. You would, yeah. You could.
So, like, I know he's a god, obviously, but like, when I went in to record the verse, I was like, dude, like, damn, he is such a good, and like, he does it like it's nothing. So yeah, I was shocked you said that, because I wanted to do a Faith No More cover, and I was looking for the perfect song, and there's this Faith No More cover album where basically like every bigger band does like every Faith No More cover, and that song wasn't picked. So I picked that song, and then I went like on YouTube, and there was one other band that covered that song. And like some of the comments when you cover a Faith No More song, much like when you cover any other bigger band song, it can just be so fucking brutal. Oh, yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna put this like Faith No More cover out and like, you know, get just fucking destroyed because
but that's balls on you to use that as a single as well, though.
Yeah. I had it's like a Japan animation. It's all animated, the video. So because I wanted to pull those fans in, and then the Faith No More fans, and just like I know it's going to be a bloodbath, but if you listen to the original song, there's no beat. It's just the dun dun, and then it doesn't. I'm like, I told Lair, I'm like, I want it to sound like a techno version, because it's all like techno-y, and
you want to put your spin on it.
Yeah, so like like you can play it at a dance club.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I took a break from it, and then I listened to it like maybe 6 months after not listening to it. And I'm like, yeah, it's actually not horrible, but I think I pulled some of the parts off like pretty well, but you know, the verses were just really hard. I mean, I had to auto-tune it. So but I think because like auto-tune is such a normal thing now that it might like just not even be noticed. So
unless you're like full on T-Pain, nobody really notices auto-tune. Like unless it's like the whole goddamn song, it's in the background. You hear it, if you've got a keen ear, you recognize it, and then you let it go for what it is, because you know it's just an artist doing what they do. It's a tool. It is what it is.
Yeah. So I got Slowly Killing Myself lyric video, Enemy of the Status lyric video, and then La Jolla is the big one, and then Ricochet, and I think that's all I got. I'm putting all my eggs into the punk rock music videos right now.
So you got a hell of a lot coming out for this project, not just, so you got the UGH sampler or a mixtape. You've got four or five videos planned, already doing the merch bundle, which I cannot say enough. Every artist who is putting music out there right now that is putting out physical media, please make a merch bundle. We will buy that shit so much fucking faster. It's to a point where a CD is kind of a bit of a status thing at this point. I don't know if that sounds whatever. Do you know what I do with them? And I'll let everybody know it, because you're going to know soon enough. When I buy a physical CD, I get a hold of the artist if I can. I get them to autograph it. I do giveaways with them. We just sent out a Super Famous Fun Time Guys album. I will be eventually doing something with Sky Swamp Orange. Fuck, if I could do something with you, that'd be cool as shit too. But it's such a smart move on your part to see that this is how things are going to be from now on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think on the punk record, I'm just going to do a vinyl. And then
that's still something.
No, because like when I did the UGH 75 with Madrox, like it took like 3 or 4 months to fill the CD. And then when I announced we're doing a vinyl, it took like 2 days to sell 7 or like 15 spots on the vinyl. So I was like, people are into the vinyl.
They really are. It is such such a niche product that the people who want it will buy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I get $20-$30 for vinyls, and I can barely sell CDs for $9 $14. So
yeah. It's such a fucking model that's built against you guys now, and I'm not gonna say that it needs to go back to the rock star models of the 70s and the 80s, where people were making, you know, ridiculous amounts of fucking money, but artists do deserve to be paid for the work they put out. It's kind of, and I sound hypocritical to say this because I use Spotify, I do, but I also buy physical media. I also buy T-shirts. I also support the things I love in every way and form I can. So if anybody wanted to talk shit, that's me telling you to fuck off.
Well, it's a survival of the fittest too. Like, you know, if you're not doing like the average mainstream artist, I use Machine Gun Kelly as the example, because dude has like 4 movies, a documentary, a nail polish line. He's going on like
love him or hate him, he's making money.
He's going on a like 3-month arena tour. He's doing every fucking Ellen and Jimmy. He's doing every talk show, every, you know, interview. He like, the dude is like a beast in terms of like being everywhere. And then like I feel like whoever's doing his wardrobe is like he is his highest paid employee because every time he wears a new outfit, it's every single person posts about his new outfit. And I'm like,
I also believe that. I also believe that comes with the marketing team and, you know, some of the other shit that some artists that we listen to don't have access to. But that's a whole other thing. Now it's crazy that you bring up him being on talk shows and shit. And if you ever had a chance to be, let's just say we won't say as big as him, but you could ride a wave close to or similar. Because we've seen Jelly Roll on fucking Jimmy Kimmel, so it's not unheard of for someone on our side to really cross over. Who would you want to be on? Just curious. If you could be on anybody's
You mean if he could
show.
be on a real talk show with real interviewers, who would he want to be?
I mean,
on?
yeah. Come on, now I know who and what we are.
I would fucking I would bring the Jew and the Yeti with me and be like,
Shit.
like the underground's taking over the studio. But I don't watch enough of those to.
Me either.
I don't even know who. I think like they practice that, right? They like go through that routine like several times before they tape it. But
I would imagine.
Yeah, because it's so like it's like how is their chemistry that I mean maybe they are professional entertainers, so maybe it is all on the fly, but I don't fucking know, dude. Like I don't.
I thought it was a stumper. I wasn't expecting that one to be a stumper.
I did see. I'm an MGK fan, so I saw him on Drew Barrymore's show, and I would just be on hers because she's so fucking cute, man. I would just love to like make her panties wet. I guess I don't know. Like Jimmy Kimmel does nothing for like the male guy. Like who's the one guy?
The only one of those dudes I ever liked was Conan O'Brien, and they did him dirty. So whatever.
Yeah, like maybe. I mean, Alex Jones, like one of those like bigger alternative media guys. I don't know. But to answer your question, if I could ride a wave like that, of course I would. Like no one gets into music and like.
Thank you for being honest. I hate that fucking. I love this underground scene. I really do. But these motherfuckers that act like they wouldn't in a heartbeat makes me laugh.
And the way I know this is, if I'm working with a specific artist. And I'm like, so-and-so's doing collabs. Like, everyone's like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, how much? If I said MGK is doing collabs, 80% of the motherfuckers clowning him for his outfit is emailing me for an MGK collab. Because,
absolutely. Because
if they had the chance to, I performed with MGK when he was, but if they had the chance.
An underground rapper, you know, it happens. Everybody has.
And for me, it's like, dude, that I opened up for him who opened up for Tech Nine on the same fucking venue. And to see him now like selling out Madison Square Garden, it's just like, bro, that's fucking sick, dude. Like a motherfucker who played before Tech Nine, who played after me, is now bigger than Tech Nine, like way bigger than Tech. Like it's just like, how can you? And like you don't get into entertainment. You don't get into music not wanting to be as big as Metallica, not wanting to be as big as Eminem. Yeah, all the motherfuckers who hate on Eminem, if Eminem was at fucking Denny's and he said, like, you'd be hound dogging Eminem, bro. That's just how life. Because
you would be, and you're absolutely right on that. And that's just, I'm sorry, I like to see a little brutal honesty on that sometimes, and it's a little funny. Because I even talk shit about MGK, but the man is a millionaire. He doesn't give a fuck what I think at all. It doesn't matter if I talk shit about him. I'm talking about him, and that's all that matters. Full circle on that shit we was at.
I talk shit about him too, but at the end of the day, man, my daughter, fuck me and her, we jam out to his music, dude. Like, because it's it's a music I can play for her that, you know what I'm saying? Like she's not gonna like. She likes like Magic Spells and some of the rock Twisted, but she doesn't really like Die Motherfucker Die. And so, you know, it's like
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you got to find shit your kids can listen to. I totally understand that. Now, I see you rocking the Astro jersey. Are we ever going to see you at Astro?
I want to get it. So now that like kids are older and shit's like COVID's hopefully over, like next, I hope so. Like, But if I don't have to wear a mask or get vaccinated to, like I went back to California for the first time in 5 years. So I'm like, I got a travel bug again. So I don't know if it'll be, but like I hear Astro's great. There's like tons of shit for kids to do there.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
There actually really is. We've been like two or three times, and they had a whole ass game room full of different systems and shit set up. And not every and not every person who's there in the booths and shit are people for us. There were people there for kids to talk to and shit. Plus, kids are weird. They might know who the fuck Jason is.
Yeah. So I don't know about Astro, like what it is, but I'm gonna be doing something next year with performing or being, so I want to do that, maybe take my son to Astro because he loves video games and shit. I think it'd just be fun. Like they just love, where we live here, there's like no pulse to the city. There's no city, but there's no pulse. But when I took him to San Diego, like you go outside and there's cars whizzing by and there's this guy doing like street acrobatics and there's this guy doing magic tricks. And then, there's this guy lifting weights, doing pull-ups, and it's just very fascinating. So I think like something like Astro would be dope, because you're in a hotel and there's a pool in the hotel and you can like stay up late, elevator tag, and like, like they love that shit. So, I love elevator tag, man. Like just, yeah. So I'm going to start. I told George, I'm like, next year, like I'm coming for something. So yeah. Are you going to be there? And I just miss just like, there's no juggalos in this motherfucker. There's no like.
Well, I mean, you are kind of almost at the end of the earth.
Well, the problem is most of us can't afford to get there.
So. Right. Yeah, but like, I miss being like around, like, back in like when I was doing INT with somebody, so like I don't have that little like fame stardom out here. So yeah, I miss all that shit, and I'm coming back, bro. I'm coming back. I don't know if it's you guys go to Astro, yeah?
We go to Astro. We missed the most recent one, but we had been to the two before that, and it's usually one of the yearly things we do our best to pull off. It's one of the things that he and I go at it together. We split the hotel. We do me, him, and the old lady. We split the gas. We take all the time to make sure that we can have a fun experience, not just be there. Because the worst fucking part about going to a convention or a show or anything is starving while you're there.
Dude, I'm all about starving, man. Like, I haven't spent money in like 2 weeks. I'm just like living off of like fucking microwave popcorn and water. So yeah, so I'm all like, I've always, whenever I toured, I would like just crash on people's fucking floors, couches, bum rides, like do everything, the exciting way, cheap.
I commend you for that. I am too fat for that nonsense.
Yeah.
When we did that, we did Astro 1 year. It was a 3-day event, and we split the hotel the whole way. But I'm not gonna put the number on what I spent, but I made sure we lived comfortably if we were gonna be there, because you're living there. But it would be really cool to see you there, because it's always a bunch of rap and shit. That's great, but I like bands. I'm a big fucking fan of bands, and I like that there are more bands in this scene, and I would love to see you at Astro once. That'd be dope. I guess I got one more question, I think, before we get out of here, and this is something I've been working on with a couple other people. I'll ask you, because I'll name you who I think if after you say it. If somebody's gonna make the Intrinzik movie, it's happening. Who are we casting as our hero?
I mean, like, I got it. I mean, there's only one person I would want to do it, man. Fucking Keanu.
Keanu? See, I was thinking him or Matthew McConaughey would both have they would have the ability to bring the right chill vibe to the role.
Matthew McConaughey, like
he would hit your vocal patterns easily.
Oh, does he do? Is he a?
he could just. I know that his Southern stands out, but when he goes into a role, he just goes into a role.
You know, like when I teach yoga, I have a very Jim Carrey vibe too.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Jim can put himself. He can like put himself into like. Keanu's not the best actor, but he's very good looking, like me. But I think Jim. I don't know. Maybe Jim, dude. Jim is a fucking. He is a mess. Like I don't know anyone better than Jim.
It's crazy because he wants to just paint shit now. He's just done being an actor. He's gonna be. He's an impressionist painter now.
Well, he's very he's very evolved. Like spiritually, I guess. I don't know if he's like happy or whatever, but he's very
happier.
He's very wise. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. The guy from Liar Liar and the guy who he is now, but that just shows
the guy who talked out of his butthole.
I was trying to give him a little bit more dignity than that. We could have went back to Fire Marshal Bill if you really fucking wanted to.
Yeah, I think. But, I don't know.
But no, okay, that was fun.
I'll take Matthew McConaughey too. He's got a killer body.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there you go. Well, fucking this has been fucking awesome.
Don't soundbite that in the wrong way either.
Snip.
Oh shit. This has been awesome. I love having you on, man. Whenever you want to come back on, you have an open door policy with our show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I watch most of your guys' shit. I like the chemistry between y'all. You guys have the best like voice contrast. Like it's just a really good team you guys got there. And I hope you guys make it to the mainstream before I do. So when I do get my one talk show pick, I can say I want to be on the Yeti and the fucking Jew.
I don't know if we'll be able to call it that, but we'll try.
That'll be a tough sell on the name. We might have to get like a PR team to like work on that.
I am a PR team's fucking nightmare. You cannot do that. You can't do that to these people. You can't do that.
But Pixar didn't happen is a great name.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. When we first came up with it, I was a little nervous because I was like, what the fuck? People are gonna think about it, whatever. But we're almost 4 years deep. I will never change this shit. This is who we are. Everybody knows us by it. We've actually got merch now. We're gonna get more. Just you fucking wait. But where can they find you on social media if you want them to find you?
Yeah, everything is Intrinzik 6T7. That's INTRINZIK. The number 6, the letter T as in Tom, the number 7. That's Instagram, Twitter, which I don't really fuck with, and Facebook. So I think I even set up a TikTok with that, but I don't use it.
Find him, you won't get no content there.
They keep telling us we need to, but I fucking have no idea. I'm old and I'm left behind. It is what it is. All right, y'all. This has been Picture Didn't Happen. You know exactly where to find us. It's in the fucking name. If you want to find it on Instagram, it's you got to put the little official at the end because I guess somebody already had our name. Fuckers. We're not gonna fight them like fucking WWE, WWF with the World Wildlife Fund. But that's funny to think about that somebody else already had that. Every Thursday, YouTube. That's where we're gonna be at. Fucking peace and shit.
And in between that, if you find that you miss us and you need more of us in your life, you can always go back and watch our old episodes.
Oh shit. One more thing to plug because I forgot to do it. We have a new podcast experience. It will be dropping monthly. It involves myself, the Yeti, and the bassist of the lovely band Sky Swamp Orange. His name is Novels. You know him, you love him. We are doing a true crime podcast. It is 3 guys, 1 murder.
It's gonna be different.
It'll be different. It'll be good. I promise. I'm trying.
Yeah. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check it out. If not, you can catch us here. We'll be here Thursdays. Peace.